All right, everybody, welcome to R&R. What you will need today, where my ball went, is one ball. And if you do have a block, it could be really helpful. So if you have a yoga block, grab it. If not, you might just, we'll get creative, right? What I'm going to suggest today, though, is to use the wall. If you don't have a wall, then we're going to warm up the tissue just using the ball that you have on the muscles that we're going to be working. So don't sweat it if you don't. So anyway, welcome. Glad you guys are here. I'm going to go ahead and move back just a little bit and make sure that you have your ball close by. All right. So we're focusing on the chest and the front shoulder here. Go ahead and just roll the shoulders back and down so you can start to be aware of your chest, your shoulders. Notice how the shoulders move and then start to move them independently. So maybe right side and then left side. We want to start to be aware of, when we're seated a lot or we're working over something, the body tends to collapse forward. And of course, the muscles on the back side tend to get weak. Let's go ahead and take both arms up because they're overstretched. And then the muscles on the front side, so the area that we're going to work today, tend to be tight. And if that continues to happen, we just kind of round forward even more. So take the arms all the way up and then release the arms down. Do that again. So you're just going to reach up and come down. Now just do the left arm. Reach the arm up and then bring it down. We're going to do that a few times. Just noticing the range of motion here in your shoulder. So of course, if you have an injury or something that you need to be aware of, you're just moving in your own range of motion, never ever to that place of pain. Let's switch sides, bring it up and back down. Bring it up and back down. One more time, bring it up and back down. Take the arms out to the side and then bring the arms out in front. So bring the hands out in front and then scoop out through the belly, press forward. So now start to be aware of the shoulders through the mid-back. We've rolled here quite a bit. And start to find a little bit of a wiggle. So sometimes, we might have something going on with our arm. Maybe it's a tendonitis in the elbow or something in the forearm or something in the wrist or even in the fingers. You're noticing sensations. Oftentimes we go right to where we're feeling it rather than up the chain. So it's great to start, go ahead and bring it on up, to start up here in the shoulder area. We want to make sure that things are open and so the energy and the flow can happen down to your fingers, right? All the way down your arm. You want that nerve flow, everything to be open. So go ahead and take your ball now and sit in a comfortable position. And if you would rather sit on a chair, you could do that as well. I'm going to have you take the ball into your right hand and then just cross it over to the left. Before you actually place the ball, take your hand and begin to explore. So you're going to find your collarbone and just give a little massage underneath your collarbone. These muscles here might be a little sore. So what I want you to do is walk from the center. I'll get a little closer. So walk from your sternum and walk underneath your collarbones and just feel along that area as you work out towards the shoulder. Now, as you come underneath, you might notice a little divot here, a little kind of spot where it sinks in. Go ahead and just give a little massage here. These are some attachment points. And then start to move your arm. And then walk your fingers down a little bit more into your chest muscle. A little bit. Kind of explore around there. See if there's anything tender. Now take your ball and you're just going to be massaging. So we're not going down into the breast tissue, ladies. We're just gonna stay up high into this pectoralis muscle, which can be really tight. As I was saying, if we're rounded forward, this starts to pull our shoulders forward. And the other thing to consider too is just breaks, taking breaks throughout the day. So notice how that feels. You're rolling across. And when we move to the wall or use the block, if you have it, if you don't have any of that stuff, you can go ahead and just stay here. Now find a spot where you notice some stuff going on and then bring your arm out to the side. So right now I have my palm facing forward, and then you're just gonna rotate your arm. Well, this is called a pin and stretch technique. If you've been doing this class with me, we've done this with other muscles. So you're not moving the ball is pinned, but you're moving the limb, okay? And then just start to move the arm forward and back. And notice how that feels. So remember, everybody's gonna have a different experience. You might be feeling a lot going on, or maybe, not a lot. And also it depends on, do you do other self-care things? All right, let's go ahead, roll the shoulders back and down and explore the other side. So take your other hand and you're just going to be walking along underneath the collarbones. You might bring your arm out to the side and just start to feel. We want to, as I was saying earlier, remember, we want this shoulder area. We want this to be open. So you have all these nerve plexuses that come off the spine. And if you have congestion in this area, imagine how that's going to affect the flow down out to your fingers, right? So if you're somebody that is noticing, tingling sensations down your arm, or you're having issues somewhere along down this chain, always think above and below. What can you do to open things up, get the blood flow going? All right, let's go ahead and take the ball now, and you're just gonna roll it in your hand over some of those areas that we explored. Okay. Notice if there's any tender spots, and then go ahead and pin it in a good spot, and then you're gonna turn the palm in and out and maybe move the arm up and down, maybe back and forth. This is good too, just to start to get some range of motion in your shoulder, especially if you have some areas that feel a little stuck. Never ever do we want to push through, but we want to kind of explore our range of motion. So if we're avoiding areas, then that box of movement that we have is going to get smaller and smaller. So we want to continue to expand and move out to different ranges slowly. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we're going to go a little bit deeper. You can use a kind of a door frame, because then you can kind of lean up into this, and then your head can go through the open space. I'm using a block so that I can get away from the wall, and my head has space. So I'm going to use the block, and then I'm going to place the ball right in this area that we were rolling. So really I'm looking for kind of that little divot spot, and then we're going to roll around there, okay? So placing the block against the wall, and then the ball to the block, and then my body into the ball. Much different than just rolling it on your body. This already feels a lot different. So I can hang out here. I can do some of our techniques where we're gonna bend and straighten my legs. So I'm just gonna go up and down, or I could start to go side to side. If you are up against the wall, definitely move slowly, everybody, because you're going to feel a lot more intensity. And so it's really important that we move slow, we follow our breath, and because we don't want to move in so quickly and create this resistance, this contraction where our body starts to guard. Now we can do some of the same techniques that we did. Find a spot, you're gonna pin it so the ball doesn't move, and then start to move your arms slowly. So if I'll go ahead and come in a little bit closer. So here's my wall, right? And then I'm just gonna move my arm. So I would be facing the wall, and I could be going up and down. I could move my arm out to the side. I could alternatively start to move my hand behind me, and notice how I'm getting lots of range of motion. So I'm helping to increase my range of motion in my shoulder. So if you don't have those options too, remember you can just start to exercise. Use the ball, you can press in, and you can start to move into different spots as you explore some range of motion. Bring it behind. Great for your shoulder. Okay, let's take one more breath. And then wherever you're at, let's go ahead and stop, bring the hands down, and just take a moment to notice. So you can stand, you can sit, whatever, close your eyes. And just notice the difference between the side that you rolled on and the side that you haven't. I didn't do a lot at the wall, but I noticed a big difference. I moved my arm quite a bit as I came closer to the screen here. And I definitely feel a difference from side to side. So what do you feel? Let's go ahead and move to the other side. So if you'd like to, you're gonna use a block or use the ball against the wall, right? And you could do one of these. If you have, you could even get creative, like maybe it's a book and you use that book against your chest with the ball, like I'm doing with the block, and you roll back and forth. It's a way to get in there a little bit deeper and save your hands. And then what you could do is then press into it and you start to move the arm up and down, or of course you can be against the wall and start to move into one of those pin and stretch techniques. So you're pinning the ball someplace along this area underneath the collarbone. It could be also out into the shoulder. We're really focusing more on the chest today with the time that we have. But keep in mind that all of these different things that you're learning, you can always go back and do a little bit more. If you're noticing that, oh gosh, I'm feeling a lot of kind of tenderness in my shoulder, you can come back and focus on the front of the shoulder here, and your movements might be kind of internal and external rotation. So great way to get some range of motion going as well. Okay, so let's take a few more breaths here. And then let's finish up on this side. Take the equipment down and then just take a moment to notice. So again, standing or sitting, let your arms go, maybe close the eyes and take a couple breaths in. And then gently open your eyes, take the arms out to the side, bring the hands back. So the fingers are just behind the head. Draw the elbows back and think of tipping the sternum up. So you're gonna find a baby back bend. So if I come from the side, I'm just gonna lift up through the chest, draw my elbows back. Notice how that stretches that area that we just rolled. This is a great stretch to kind of break up your, if you're working a lot, you know, get up, even just bring your hands back behind your head. And then take the arms out to the side, release it down. Keep the arms up. Let's do that one more time, bring the hands behind the head. I'd love to know what's working for you and what you guys are learning, what you guys want more of. So feel free to put any of that in the chat. Take the arms out to the side and release. That's it for today. Thanks for joining me for Focus on the Chest and the Shoulders. Hope to see you guys next time. Take care.